Hello, I'm Jake Trotter. This is Blake Jackson. Our final here at Jones Stadium in Lubbock. Texas Tech 34, Oklahoma 27. Not a lot went right for the Sooners, starting with the first offensive snap of the game.
Alan Patrick fumbled the ball on the first carry. It looked like it might have been a missed exchange, but Patrick might have just dropped it. It was recovered by Texas Tech, and Sam Bradford tried to make a tackle on the play. In fact, he did make the tackle on the play, and it looks like he might have suffered what Bob Stoops called somewhat of a concussion on that play.
He wasn't the only injury. Coming late on the onside kick in the end of the game, DeMarco Murray suffered a knee injury. I guess they were saying he shifted his kneecap. They're saying it's a significant injury, which means he could be out for the season too. That's another costly injury because, honestly, the past 2 or 3 games, he's been OU's best offensive weapon.
Right. He's the best runner in the three-headed running attack for the Sooners. And if they lose him, they lose a serious threat, not only in the backfield, but also on kickoff returns.
Adron Tennell suffered an ACL tear, I believe. Alan Davis had a concussion, so the injuries really piling up here in Lubbock. OU's national championship aspirations were dashed tonight with the loss, but they can still go to the Fiesta Bowl. They come back and beat Oklahoma State, but more importantly, beat Kansas or Missouri in the Big 12 championship. So a lot to still play for. The biggest key is getting Sam Bradford back, but you could see maybe less physically, more mentally, that without Bradford in the game, this is just a different team.
Right, and Joey Halsley came on in the end. He played decent. I think he had, 291 yards at the end of the night. And Stoops said after the game that he thought he did pretty well considering the circumstances. But the Sooners cannot win and get to where they want to be as far as the Fiesta Bowl goes without Bradford at the helm.
Joey Halsley, I think he came in and really struggled in the beginning, and I think anybody would play in that first significant action, trailing on a hostile environment. But you're right, he came in the fourth quarter and rallied OU, and I was surprised the way that they came back, and it was 34-13 with 8 or 9 minutes left, and he comes back and it's 34-27. Manuel Johnson catches a ball in the corner of the end zone that officials rule out of bounds on fourth down. Turned out to be a pretty close play, and they reviewed it and kept the call on what was called on the field.
Yeah, I'm sure considering the history of Texas Tech and Oklahoma games in Lubbock, the fans will be igniting the message boards tomorrow. But Manuel Johnson didn't have a bad night all around.
No.
He still had 2 touchdown catches, and unfortunately, it was a little bit too late for the Sooners.
Jermaine Gresham was another guy who really was not a factor. I don't think he had passed on his way until the fourth quarter. Malcolm Kelly really wasn't a factor either. He had a couple of drops early on. So OU's weapons didn't really stand up and make plays when Bradford went out of the game, and that was probably the biggest difference offensively. On defense, Austin English didn't play for the second straight game with the hairline fracture in his right ankle. Sooners continue to struggle to put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and with a guy like Graham Harrell, you just can't do that. You can't not put pressure on somebody. He was able to sit back there and pretty much just pick his spots. They dinked and dunked up and down the field a whole lot. Michael Crabtree, big night, 154 receiving yards and 12 catches with a touchdown. So it's difficult to come in to a place like this and win a game like this when so many things are going against you.
I thought the biggest statistic was Graham Harrell had 47 pass attempts in the first half.
Right.
What does that mean? That means they're not forcing 3-and-outs, they're not forcing punts, and their defense, I think their defense got worn out a little bit because they were on the field the entire first half, much like they were in the fourth quarter against Colorado.
Right, and it's important not to overlook Aaron Crawford's contribution to the Texas Tech attack. He had 47 yards on the ground and another 81 through the air out of the backfield, and so he came in for Shannon Woods, who's kind of been demoted on the team, and was able to score a touchdown that ended up being the winning touchdown, gave the Red Raiders 34 points.
Tough night for Oklahoma and Lubbock. Again, our final score, Texas Tech 34, Oklahoma 27. Sooners still have a chance to win the Big 12 next weekend against Oklahoma State in the Bedlam game. Time for that is 2:30 p.m. on Fox Sports Net. For Blake Jackson, I'm Jake Trotter. Tune in with us next week as we talk to you about the OU-OSU game next Saturday.